hard about farming is that your very life and your very work is like dependent on all these things that are outside of your control. So just like absolutely the weather. So like every year has been a harder drought. In the past like 5 years, like there have been longer stretches of drought, and then like last year it was like the driest year in Iowa in 140 years, and then like this year is drier. If we had some huge rain events, I feel like we could capture a lot of that water, and it would be like in our soil, like ready for that drought stretch, but we're just not getting those. There's just like all these things, and then the bugs are just like super, super bad, and like all these bugs that like we've never had trouble with, or we hardly have trouble with, and they're just crazy bad. And I think that that's also climate change.
Drought is like definitely something that I didn't really think about. I sort of, in my head, I'm like, oh, it just needs a little rain, right? Or like, oh, it like, I don't know, rain is just a little extra bonus. And especially when I think just seeing how happy the plants and the humans are like when it does rain is like, whoa, this is like this guy's job, that it is like not able to do so as much as we want to at all, and it's just like kind of makes me pretty concerned about impending climate doom.
Being out here and being aware of how much it's not raining has been really hard, and just seeing like the quality of the soil being really dry, and thinking about what that means like for climate change and the bigger picture of what will happen on the farm in the future. But at the same time, to just like see the resilience of everything that is still growing is really cool. Just think about, being in this much of a drought, but the boxes that we're sending out every week are still really full, and full of things that are like mostly still really beautiful is encouraging too.
It's like my solution can't be like, I'm going to use more electricity to irrigate, and I'm going to like use more groundwater to irrigate, or like if it's going to get hot, I'm going to use more air conditioning. Like I feel like we have to have like a solution that is going to not be contributing to climate change, and I'm a little bit scared about it. So I feel like we've been trying to be really good stewards, so that like maybe we're not contributing to climate change, or maybe we're like capturing carbon in our farming practices, and like also like other ecological practices, like so helping our ecosystem and like helping clean up our water, and like trying to be like good contributors to like the planet ecosystem, but then also being like, okay, we also have to adapt to climate change, and like I feel like we've been trying all these things, and like so like again, investing in soil carbon is helping our whole farm be like resilient to flooding or to drought, to heat, so building our soil organic matter. We also like have all this biodiversity, like investing like both in habitat but like diversity on our farm, and mixing habitat with our crops. And again, like that is is like a risk management, if that makes sense. Like so, if we're gonna like lose big parts of our crop to drought or flood or storm, or pests, like if we have so much diversity on our farm, like that we won't lose everything.
It's just really cool to be part of an alternative agriculture system, and like a system that's seeking to be a lot more sustainable, and to really just like care for this land that we're in, and a land that's such an incredibly changed landscape, but really love the prairie restoration that we do out here too. And that's been, I think, something that I've really enjoyed, being an intern and getting to learn from Nate and Alice too, about the prairie, about all these native plants, and about how we can have like this agricultural system that is also good habitat, and like good habitat for pollinators.
My time here has opened my eyes to what's going on in the larger sustainable ag community in a lot of ways, and just through observation, watching what they do out here to sustain and help the land, and make sure, different practices that make sure that everything is composted and just well cared for and loved. I mean, that's what sustainability is. It's just like loving the land that you are harvesting from or borrowing from, just loving it back.
Our planet is our lungs. Like, we cannot survive and live without these plants. Learning about how to care for them because they care for us is like, I mean, there's not going to be humans. There's going to be a planet, but there won't be humans if we don't figure out and realize how we fit into this like beautiful puzzle.